We were established in 1790. We've moved around our offices several times since that time. We were originally in Washington, D.C. We are now located in Alexandria, Virginia, which is about 15 minutes south in Virginia. It's not in Washington, D.C. We actually consolidated all our offices into one campus. They built actually a new campus for us. We're about 5 buildings. You'll see pictures of it later. We're fully fee-funded since 1993 from the sale of our products and services. So what are our products and services? We have 2 business lines, patents and trademarks. We grant patents and we register trademarks, and we also give patent and trademark information. So we charge, as your office, we charge for the examination fees, the filing fees, and also the maintenance fees. I'll talk a little bit later about that, but we are actually more supported by our maintenance fees, meaning that we actually make it a little bit cheaper for filing examination, but it's subsidized later by the maintenance fees. Our revenues are, as you can see, excuse me. Oops, sorry. Can you press the wrong button? Sorry. 2008, 1.91 billion, and 2009, 1.98 billion. That is a lot, but our operating budget is also quite huge, as the economic crisis of this past year has shown. Even our fees we had trouble maintaining our budget, so we actually had to crunch our budget and do cost savings to continue during the year. We have approximately 9,000, or close to 10,000 workers at the office, and they consist of government workers who are the examiners and trademark attorneys, of course, and other attorneys such as myself. I'm in the Office of External Affairs, which is our International and Policy Division. But we also have contractors. We've contracted a lot of our work to save costs. Our Constitution mandates our office. This is from the U.S. Constitution. A lot of our examiners like to say that we have job stability because the Constitution mandates us. So what is the structure of the government? Well, as many of you may know, it's 3 branches: legislative, judicial, and executive. We're in the executive branch under our President, Obama. We're under the Department of Commerce, where there are several agencies actually under the Department of Commerce. The United States Patent and Trademark falls underneath Commerce. We're a performance-based organization. What does that mean? Well, there was an act by Congress, the American Inventors Protection Act, in 1999. The main intent of it was to give the USPTO more management flexibility, better control, independence to better manage its operations, and more of a focus on performance, align our organizations with performance goals. So we actually have goals that we have to meet and present to Congress, almost like a report card. It's a challenge because we have increasing workloads that all the offices around the world are facing. But more importantly it always comes down to money, the uncertainty. As I told you, we are a fee-based organization, meaning we derive all our income from fees. We do not take any money from Congress. In fact, we are so profitable in a sense that Congress takes our money. The way it works is we bring in the money, we have to give it to Congress or Treasury, and then we get it back. So they get to hold it. And we have to beg for it, essentially. So we want, our office has been looking toward more control over our fees. We believe that if we have better control of our fees, we can better react and plan for the future, and also deal with present and future crises. So we really are looking toward trying to have better control of our fees, and I'll talk a little later about that. Performance accountability. Well, management, how is management decided? The undersecretary, we have a new undersecretary, Undersecretary David Kapos. He was the vice president of IBM. He's been here over a year now, and he's appointed by the president. We also have a deputy undersecretary, Sharon Barner. She actually is a partner, was a partner at Foley and Lardner in Chicago. She's appointed by the Secretary of Commerce. And the commissioners, as I said, there are two businesses, patents and trademarks. They each have a commissioner of patents and a commissioner of trademarks, and they're appointed by Secretary of Commerce. There's a 5-year appointment, so that means they have it's a defined term, and there are yearly performance agreements with the clear commitments of the goals that we had set out. Here's a structure, organization structure. As you can see, David Kapos is up on the undersecretary, and then underneath is Sharon Barner. We generally kind of call this the head office. There's also something called the Patent Public Advisory Committee and Trademark Public Advisory Committee. That's kind of an ad hoc group that meets once every quarter. And it's made up of users, select members of the users and USPTO, and they interact to discuss our current status, our future goals, and basically we hear their feedback on how we're doing. There's the Commissioner of Patents and the Commissioner for Trademarks. Robert Stoll is our commissioner. He actually used to be in the Office of External Affairs, which I'll show you now. There are several offices that support the head office. Administrative office, Chief Financial Office, administration of the External Affairs Office. That's actually where I'm located. We have an acting administrator right now, and Office of General Counsel and Chief Information Officer. So we're going to go more into this line right here, the Commissioner of Patents, which we're probably most interested in. There are 3 departments that support our Commissioner of Patents. Peggy Focarino is the office of is a deputy commissioner. There's actually a patent examination policy department, and there's patent resources and planning. The deputy commissioner is the one that really is in charge of the examiners. These are where all the examiners are. The technology centers, that's what we call them. The patent examination policy is divided into several different, or supported by different offices. There's Office of Petitions, there's a legal administration, PCT legal, patent quality assurance, and the MPEP. I'm sure many of you are familiar with our MPEP, the Manual of Patent Examining Procedure. It's essentially the Bible for the examiners. This explains the rules, procedures, and the law of U.S. patent law. And it's actually a very good resource. I would actually familiarize yourself with it if you're not aware. It's freely available on our website. It's basically 3 giant books. And also there are patent resources and planning. These are all the support for the examiners, from computers down to the chairs and office space. Now we're going to go a little bit further into this technology center. As I said, the deputy commissioner is in charge. These are the different technology centers for the USPTO. We divided up by the arts. TC 1600, this is where I actually was located. I was originally an examiner in biotechnology. Then there is the technology 1700, 2900, which is chemicals and designs. 2100 is computer architecture and information security. Underneath that is technology 2400. This is a new tech center, technology center. It's not a lower status. I just had to stick it in there because it's a new one. It's basically almost about 1.5 years old. We found these arts, the networking, multiplexing, cable, and security, growing so fast that it actually needed a separate technology center. Then there's 2600, information communications and information processing. 2,900 semiconductors. 3,600 is assorted, many different technologies, transportation, construction, etc. And 3,700 is mechanical engineering and manufacturing. As I said, these are all divided up in different art units. When I go over my PPH slide, please recall this because we see different levels of PPH participation by the users dependent on the technology. Certain technologies really like the PPH and use it very actively, others less so. What's our goals? Well, we have actually a strategic plan that's available on the website, and it mandates 3 goals that we have. One, of course, to optimize patent quality and timeliness. The second, optimize trademark quality and timeliness. And then third, improve IP protection and enforcement domestically and abroad. We want to achieve organizational excellence in all 3 of these. There are more details in our strategic plan. Again, that's also on our website. What's our priorities to reach those goals? Well, number 1 is to reduce our patent pendency. We've had a problem in the past several years of our increasing pendency, the time it takes to get a resolution. It's been increasing, and we're looking for ways. PPH is one of those tools, which is in our work share strategy. We find that there's a lot of duplication among the different offices, and that's just adding to the inefficiencies. So work sharing is one mechanism to reduce this pendency. We are trying to stabilize and modernize our IT infrastructure. This is a constant battle. As you know, the information continually exponentially increases, and the information to contain that information, to be accessible in databases, and having tools to quickly access it is constantly a race to catch up. So we're trying to maintain that, and David Kapos has developed a plan to revitalize our IT infrastructure. I mentioned this earlier, obtain a sustainable funding model. Again, controlling our fees is critical to that. And building a more collaborative work environment with the stakeholder community. We're trying to involve ourselves more with the users. You saw earlier our public advisory committees for patents and trademarks is one mechanism, but David Kapos is also using other avenues. We have a director's blog, and he talks about what we're doing or what his goals are, and we also are developing different tools for interacting with the users. One that's being developed is our MPEP. As I mentioned, the Manual of Patent Examining Procedure. We're actually trying to develop a interactive MPEP where actually people can comment, and we can read those comments and respond to them and adjust accordingly. So we're really trying to use the technology because it is conducive to social networking. It's conducive to getting discussion and ideas. Another thing I want to mention is the patent quality. Of course, that's always an issue, and it's always a battle. Quality on one side, speed on the other. They're somewhat in conflict, so to speak. We're trying to develop ways to improve our quality system, our quality assurance system. I'm going to go over some metrics later on, but we're even trying to change how we're doing the metrics. This is a graph of our annual growth of application filings. The darker line is the patents. As you can see, over the past 10 or 20 years, it's always been a steady increase, or an increase. There have been little blips, most notably down here with the economic crisis. We did see a slight drop, but from my understanding, we're going to see the numbers back up higher than even last year. Let's see. And trademarks is the lower one, and it's also seen an increase. There was a slight bubble up here, blip up here, around 1999. Does anyone know why? Can anyone possibly guess? There was a phenomenon that everyone was going crazy over. The .com the dot-com boom. A lot of companies, well, not just companies, a lot of people were dot-comming and trying to get trademarks over those dot-com companies. You remember pets.com and everything like that. So that